captain role as well. Figuring out, going to go nearly all the way with the reserve time. Down to 15 seconds or so now.
Could also see a here. You can pair that with the Batrider initiation so they can't counter with the Magnus or anything else really. And
10 seconds
not necessarily the best defensive laner, but pretty good aggressively. Interesting.
Yeah, they go all the way to the wire, 1 second reserve time, and then they settle for a Sand King.
Well, I'm confused now.
Yeah. Maybe it is a support Batrider, actually.
It's possible. The thing is that IX Mike has traditionally been an offlaner, so a lot of these offlane heroes are in his hero pool very comfortably. We've seen Puppy with great success playing offlaners as the 5. So it could be a Bat. It certainly could be a Sand King. Sand King more likely going to be the offlaner, and I still think it's going to be the Newsham Elder Titan.
Yeah.
So.
The ban Medusa. Obviously, they still need a mid. I mean, that's pretty much a confident thing we could say, no matter what the supports are going to be. J-Storm agrees. Medusa ban is coming up from them as a result. Yeah, Medusa would have been really good here, actually, relying on that damage over time, and the most concerned about that. So, taking that away. Team, thinking of their ban. Again, Monkey King, I still look back at that. I mean, I suppose against PA, maybe not Monkey King's not the greatest, but...
yeah, decent against the Sand King in lane, since they both want to bully each other off the lane. Oh, interesting, a Visage. I was thinking maybe a Lina, but they're sticking with the physical damage theme, and Visage is a very up-tempo aggressive hero that can deal with the Tombstone and disrupt a lot of things in the fights.
Yeah, and also kind of a, not that, okay, so my logic I was going to say Visage kind of a beefier hero, of course, with that R, or the passive that he has. A Phantom Assassin not really beefy, but the idea of the blur and the evasion, you know, kind of kicking in right there. So when it comes to this physical presence, yeah, they're taking away the potential of it. But I mean, I still think that Phantom Lancer is another one, no doubt, that we could see here from J-Storm. So that or the Monkey King are the ones that stand out for me. The PL would just give you maybe a little more scalability as far as come that late game. As you called it, a dumb hero, I believe was the quote from yesterday. So,
yeah, it looked pretty dumb in that series against J-Storm.
That's true, that was, yeah.
Yeah, the one problem with Monkey King is that you can get dragged out of your ring, and he's also fairly weak to physical burst damage, which Team has quite a bit of between the Visage and the PA. So, while it is a popular Mu hero, it does seem a little risky, but I mean, hey, RP in the middle of Wukong's command is just a fight over instantly.
You know, looking back at the games yesterday, I suppose that would have given us more information. Batrider was played by IX Mike against J-Storm in that matchup, so... Oh, they do go the Terrorblade, and you mentioned how against Elder Titan, not as likely. They still settle for it here. And it's a Brile Terrorblade. Okay, so Moo's going to be on the Venomancer.
Interesting. I wonder how they'll end up landing this, because Terrorblade seems like a really terrible hero against Batrider. IX Mike obviously playing the 5, but they might switch it up, you know, depending on trying to get that matchup. Batrider really not doing a whole lot against the Magnus. So I am very interested to see how they end up laning. We've seen a lot of aggressive lanes and even some tri-lanes in this current meta, so it's really hard to actually get a read on this game right at the moment.
Yeah. The Terrorblade's the thing. It's like, I understand against Phantom Assassin specifically, sure, being physical damage, but then you throw in the Elder Titan Aura, you have Visage, who's got that Soul Assumption, dealing some good damage itself, so... It's and as you're pointing out too, with the whole laning phase, it's one of those. Usually, we've been sitting here saying, "Okay, it's a Terrorblade, you know, still confident pick." But this is one of the games where I'm not nearly as confident, honestly. A lot of these Terrorblade games that we have been seeing recently, but J-Storm going to attempt to make it work, and again, moves on the Venomancer. Brile and Terrorblade doesn't mean that's going to be a mid Terrorblade necessarily, but I think trying to avoid the Batrider, as you're pointing out, would be ideal.
It looks like it. I don't know. It could end up being a mid Terrorblade. Regardless, I don't think it's the worst Terrorblade game either. At the same time, it is only a 5 Batrider, and as far as their ability to deal with the Terrorblade once he has like a BKB and a Scotty or a BKB Butterfly or something like that is fairly limited just because he's going to be pretty free, and their burst damage, aside from the physical burst of a couple of crits, is really not very high.
Once again, to clarify, guys, this is not for the spot in the major just yet. That will be later on today. This is to get to the playoffs here in the North American qualifiers. The winner of this, advancing on the playoffs, they're going to play the first place team out of Group A, which did end up being Evil Geniuses. Not really a big surprise there, of course. So, and then if you happen to win that one, the winner of that series will then qualify for the major. But getting to the playoffs is important too for that. If you even lose that one, then you still have tomorrow to move on. But the loser of this series, they are done and eliminated from the qualifiers. So it's pretty, pretty quick. They move quickly. Format and everything here. All right.
Looks to be a safe lane Venomancer, at least at the beginning. That seems like a pretty nasty lane to deal with. The Undying Veno combo. Bryle walking the Terrorblade to the mid lane, and the Grimstroke and Magnus heading to the bottom.
Yeah, Bryle's got the ward on him, so we're going to get that down, and right now nobody's there for the Radiant side, so he'll be fine. Gets it down, no information given. Obviously, team, you'd have to think that that's part of their consideration as well, but could you imagine if they just put Batrider mid solo? Thanks, Mike. I don't think they're going to do that.
No, it's not going to happen.
You did mention it. It is a very favorable matchup for the Batrider. That would be probably quite a stretch to expect here. But they are at least going to see the Undying at the top lane. Don't know if they've seen Venomancer just yet. And so they might not be 100% sure if that will be the case up there. But Ryoya, he's all the way down here at the bottom lane and by himself. In the tower. Yep,
traditionally they're mid player, but Sammy Boy also coming from a mid player background, having transitioned to carry just for a couple of his teams. He's definitely a well-known Visage player. So fits into his wheelhouse quite nicely.
There we go, Visage heading towards the middle lane. Elder Titan looks like he's gonna walk, or he's even just gonna TP to the bottom lane. Grimstroke. I'm at the creep wave. Obviously can't pull the first creep wave though. Trying to scout somebody else, maybe trying to block right there perhaps, but
yeah, put some early damage on them with the Inkswell on the creep wave and a hero would be quite a bit of burst early on and disrupt their ability in the very early stages of the laning.
Milan pops that Inkswell. Gonna run at Nusham. Yeah, Ferev, who's just gonna put a couple of attacks in him too. Ferev doesn't have anything leveled up just yet. And no doubt that Shockwave, though, is a very strong laning tool, but he does get the Empower at level 1. Help with even more last hitting. Instead for the time being. Yeah, Skewer Inkswell does actually seem potentially strong itself, so Nusham does need to be very careful.
Absolutely. Lots of kill potential from the side of J-Storm in this lane. And at the same time, we have seen Elder Titan turn around some of these early fights with that incredibly high base damage, or incredibly high bonus damage from the Astral Spirit.
Very true. Group being pushed up right here, but again, that Terrorblade versus Visage in the middle lane, and right now, Bryle's doing pretty good, 5-3 against the 3-1 Visage. Visage is one of these heroes, though, where it always feels like it's the same theme, where it may not do the best early on until level 6. Obviously, the familiars kind of change everything. Milan, by the way, bottom lane. I was wondering if that was going to develop into something more. He is fine, though, in the end, and Nusham also takes plenty of damage, but no first blood just yet, but they are not afraid to trade attacks there.
Yeah, I think this lane is going to end up favoring J-Storm in the long run just because both heroes have early sticks, which means they're going to just have a ton of regen over the course of the lane since Elder Titan and PA tend to spam their abilities quite a bit.
Double damage rune in that middle lane. Terrorblade's going to head over and snatch that up for himself. The Wraithband building has begun. How's the top lane going? You got Venomancer 7-2. Sand King 8-2. So very back and forth. Gale comes out, but they just run at Moo. Oh my god, that damage. Yeah, you have 6 stacks. Yeah, jeez.
See you later.
That was, I mean, if you're Moo right there, it's a case of try not to get in range of that Pearl Strike if you have that many stacks, obviously, but he did.
This hero's so slow. He only has 280 movement speed. And does have 8 armor, but hey, against that magic damage coming up from Batrider, it's really not that effective. Brax goes for the early boots so he can catch this very slow Venomancer. And like you said, he needs to be very careful of his positioning.
Duchamp with the Astral Spirit. Coming back to him, all of a sudden, plus 75 damage. Feeling pretty good. Got a little pull going on here as well. Oh, Centaur.
It's done.
Yeah, that's... might make this awkward, actually. Does he have Skewer? He doesn't have Skewer yet. And it doesn't matter. The Empower auto attacks plenty, and he goes down. Yeah, getting stunned by that Centaur. Actually screwed him in the end. Well played by the Dire team, though, capitalizing.
Yep, definitely a bit of a misplay. You got to be expecting those creeps. The big creeps in those camps, they trigger their abilities when there are 3 or more enemies around them, so... It's not something that just happens randomly. It's pretty easy to predict.
Yeah, that's... and he was even purposely pulling it over, so definitely underestimated. I don't know, the radius was pretty large, to be fair, too. He seemed decently far away, but I guess the radius is a bit bigger than expected. So, still caught him. Top lane, Venomancer. Again, 5 stacks of that sticky napalm. You see, he's just keeping his distance. We saw what happened last time, and moves very aware. So he's not going to risk it again, at least for now. Coming back to the CS, though. It continues to be very even in CS at that top lane, despite the earlier kill. As down here, going for that Arcane Rune. It is picked up by Nusham. Got rooted up by the Inkswell, but he's fine.
Yep, the biggest discrepancy so far in the laning stage is this mid lane where Bryle abusing Metamorphosis and the Conjure Images to really bully Sammy Boy. 25 and 13 versus 13 and 4 for this Visage. And that's a little concerning, as Sammy Boy is a full level behind and really, really needs that level 6 as soon as possible.
Exactly. Again, it goes back to that Visage. Like I was saying earlier, that's the theme of this hero. Get level 6, yes, it definitely changed with those familiars, but until then, it will be a bit of a struggle. And then just showing off here, IX Mike wants this top bounty rune. It's going to come at a cost, though, most likely. He doesn't even get it. And, well, he's doing some good damage to Move. Move stood in that fire a little bit longer, but even the Rip Heal coming out from March and, yeah, IX Mike with the Gale, both are so slow from one another. The stun hits, actually, and the Firefly Bird comes in, moves it double. He goes down. IX Mike will survive for the time being. It actually works out when it's all said and done. And now Nusham, he's going to help kill March in the process. Southpaw from IX Mike, and they are going to turn on the Undying as well. Yes, 12 stacks of that decay. It don't matter. Final auto attack for Nusham. IX Mike just flying away, flapping those wings. Somehow lived.
The plays right there. That was very nicely done. And, man, just so funny. It's like a slow motion car chase right there. Oh, bottom lane.
Bottom lane. He needs to Phantom Strike away, maybe? Yeah. He is going to strike away and survive for now.
Probably still in trouble here. Shockwave up. Needs to find the angle for it.
He has another... okay. I was going to say Phantom Strike in 1 second, but it wasn't going to work. Just a matter of time. But yeah, they were aware. They saw Nusham at the top lane, of course, so they figured they would dive him. And that ended up working. Capitalizing from J-Storm. Bryle, meanwhile, 4 Wraith Bands, 38 and 19 CS here in the middle lane. I would call that a very good start.
Yeah, he's having a great early game, and I mean, God, look at this hero. 22 armor at level 6 and 325 movement speed without any boots. What the hell is this?
Yeah, kind of silly. Elder Titan. Now we mentioned the idea on paper. Elder Titan again with the aura, very, very powerful. However, he needs to level it up, and right now he gets level 1 of it, and he's level 3. Obviously, he'll want Echo Stomp as well, at least 1 point of that. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what it's ultimately that massive threat. But right now, it's not the biggest deal. Visage middle lane. He's dead. Yeah, Grimstork and Undying just rotate in. Sand King ports into the tier 2 tower. Not going to happen, though. Tombs don't even put down half the tower, so Brax kind of just walking in, throws down a Sandstorm. Figures trying to push them back as much as he can, but the Metamorphosis of Terrorblade still there, doing plenty of damage. So I don't think Terrorblade is necessarily that concerned.
Yeah, meta's still up for quite some time. It is nice, though, that you can just Sandstorm and still hit the Tombstone, so that's one way that Sand King can kind of counter Undying a little bit.
Oh, they're going out.
Ryle.
Firefly. Only one stack so far. There's 2 stacks, but it's definitely going to be enough. The Inkswell will not save him in the end. They get the 1 kill. They're going to go for 2 on March as well. Easy second kill. Double kill for IX Mike. Milan at least trying to get the turn on the Battery. We saw what happened last time. The X top that 1 point value does come out. The Sand King Bro Strike. And IX Mike, burn, baby, burn on top of him. New Sham will get credit for the kill, but yet another turn for the Radiant. And wow, he actually lives. Tower right there. That's this Bat Rider, IX Mike. He's proven to play. He has plenty of experience on it.
Yep, knows the limits of the hero. And Team, this is a theme that I've seen in them, is that they tend to get off to these very good starts in the early game. They are incredibly active around the map. We've seen Nusham top, we've seen him bottom, we've seen him mid lane. Brax making the rotation early as well. And Bryle going for the very, very greedy 4 Conjure Image, 3 Metamorphosis, no Sunder. After such a good early start, gets punished for it.
Yeah. Point. Doesn't have that to save him. Wonder if he may look to pick that up at level 8, almost like a, all right, maybe I do need this now that I died idea, but he's going to jungle for the time being, so perhaps not. Either way, he'll be staying there for a little bit. Obviously on the other side, Phantom Assassin is recovering. It's not a crazy recovery needed, as top lane they are engaging, aren't they? Double damage on Sand King, trying to get in there. Knights extra with 3 heroes. The RP comes out of response though. This time it looks like they dove too far on the side of Team. They will lose 2. Sand King and Elder Titan are dead. Bat Rider, we've said it before, he's in trouble, but he ends up living usually, so I'm gonna go ahead and say he's gonna live. Milan is in trouble himself. 4 stacks of that sticky nade bomb. IX Mike comes down for the Fireflight, and now he's in hot pursuit, we'll call it. He's getting away for now. He actually doesn't have Stork of Fate, so
He needs vision for this Phantom Embrace.
TP.
Okay.
The skewer just in time.
Just at the very edge of that range. Meanwhile, Sammy Boy did snipe Moo on the Venomancer with that Soul Assumption.
So they actually did get a kill in the end with that dive. He did a 1 for 2.
All the while, a massive amount of space for this Phantom Assassin. I feel like there hasn't been a hero in this lane for like the last 5 minutes.
That's very true, actually. So yeah, even though he died right there, that's a support Bat Rider after all, technically. So I think it's almost a win for them. Brax going for the epicenter, lands on 3 different heroes, trying to get a lot of damage out. Bryle taking plenty. March is also getting low. The shockwave in on the Visage, so he cannot finish anybody off so far, and he will go down to Visage. They do get the kill on dying, but not the ideal situation for Team. So Bryle comes to the fight with that Metamorphosis, of course, and we see the turn. Epicenter level 1, still not enough damage.
Yeah, overstepping their bounds a little bit there. They were feeling pretty confident in their ability to take all these fights, but with the inclusion of Bryle, it becomes a little bit harder, and he did take the Sunder. Now has 0-4-4 and the Sunder skilled at level 9. It is really interesting to see nobody taking Reflection anymore. It seems like everybody just expects Terribly to have to go to the jungle very early on, and you just go for kind of the old school max Conjure Image build.
Where's he? TP super into the right with top lane. Yeah, not going to engage his Elder Titan, trying to stall this top push for now with his Astral Spirit throughout the stomp. But they're wrapping around. Forev trying to find his angle. He has another RP. He will pull in IX Mike. Going for the skewer, but he gets stunned up. However, the soul bind on both. Can't run away. Silence up on top of the Inkswell stun. They get the kill on IX Mike. They also lose Visage.
Mid lane.
In the mid lane. Okay, wow. That was Undying and Terrorblade, it looks like.
Yeah, no meta even. I missed that as well. I don't know how he went down there.
Let me see the...
No Tombstone expended either.
I mean, Sunder. It was an
Sunder play.
Yeah, it was an initial Sunder. He's a Death Recap. Thanks, Dota Plus. Useful for something there. Oh, Phantom Assassin though, he finds Undying. Says you can die after all. That's 366 gold going the way of Phantom Assassin too for that kill. Nice. He'll take it. Battle Fury's coming close. 2,300 gold now saved up.
Yep, enough for Demon Edge. Wonder if he'll pick that up or the Perseverance first. But like I said, PA has been bought a lot of space by her team, and they haven't really just been beating away kills left and right either. So that's exactly how you want this to go if you're Roya.
Under attack.
Sammy Boy though, been a bit of a struggle for him. He's trying to finish Helm with a Dominator, it seems like. As well as that medallion he has earlier on.
Yeah, CS is very low. It's barely above his Sand King.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty delayed by that bad mid lane matchup and a couple early deaths. He's also fed away quite a few familiars already.
Interesting with the build on Outer Titan, by the way. I was mentioning this earlier. He does choose to now max out the Echo Stomp. I wonder if he's even going to go the Astral Spirit first, because again, at that point, I mean, natural order, even level 1, 40% is nice, but it's really not, he's not the counter to Terrorblade necessarily until it's 100%, I feel like. Remove all that armor.
It's more of a late game ability anyway.
Kill that there.
For the most part. And also,
so it's just not going to be needed early on, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Well, alright.
Dire's middle tower is
Blink picked up on Sand King. That's obviously a big item. Sid's still pushing out that top. Looks like he purchased the Helm of the Dominator components. And that Blink's also on the courier. That's an expensive courier, guys. Be careful with it.
Tier 2 bottom just completely melts. Terrorblade and Veno teaming up there, and looks like they're going to head to the top lane to defend their tier 2.
Yeah, as they definitely should. There is a ward up here placed by the Radiant. We'll see if it gets countered. It looks like it is. Veno ward taking it out now as the sentry comes down, so smart play by J-Storm. They picked up on that. Pushing that tier 2, you'll see teams do that a lot, just to get that vision around, of course, and see if anyone's coming in. The immediate counter as a result. Phantom Assassin, though, very close now. The Void Stone, last component left for her. So it's going to end up being, honestly, pretty good timing on the battlefield. It's not, again, great for the Sentry, but triple Wraithband and Power Treads before that, and you consider the start that she had, this is not too shabby at all. So we're going to start seeing the acceleration done.
Yeah, she'll start to actually catch up to Terrorblade, who is farming very well with the Empower and the Conjure Image, of course. Has the Manta style complete, heading right in for a Butterfly. I like this. Does need to be a little bit concerned of the control and magic damage, but at the same time, recognizing that he can be pretty dominant in these fights with a Butterfly early on.
That's interesting to me, because at the same time, the physical threat seems like it's not necessarily as much of the issue, right? Where that's what we're talking about with Phantom Assassin. She's not going to be dealing the most damage because of all that armor. Whereas if you went and say a BKB, like a Yasuo and a BKB is going to do a lot this game.
Yeah, he may still change his mind. I think that the BKB, he's prioritizing just being more of a beast because IX Mike is a Bat Rider, which of course last would go through BKB. And he has very good counter initiation around him and save from the Undying, Grimstroke, the Magnus as well. I think he's not feeling that scared, but certainly will be picking up a BKB and could change his mind and pick that up as the next item anyway.
Yeah, of course you do expect both in the end, but saying that as far as the next item goes. But for right now, does still have that Butterfly queued up, so keep an eye over there. As right side of the map, they're not really smoked, it's just simply they're running over here as a team. They were spotted by a ward. IX Mike did have an invis to be fair, but the rest of the team, they knew. I saw them running over there. So kind of positioning appropriately on this left side of the map and thinking about Roshan maybe. Yeah, they know they're over there, so they could just say, all right, we'll just do Roshan in the meantime. The Empower's up, and it's going to pop meta for this. The Astral Spirit goes over. Dire team definitely knows about this, but Batrider doesn't have a blink or anything like that, remember, so he can't necessarily initiate like he wants to.
And all these Plague Wards gonna slow things down. March drops the Tombstone to further cover their retreat.
I get it. Yeah, Phantom Assassin was putting pressure on the tier 3 bottom a little bit. Only got 100 or so, I guess actually about 300 damage, but still, that's a Roshan going down. Aegis picked up by Terrorblade now. He continues his farming journey in the meantime. Probably going to be more of that farming Aegis at this point, but I'll take it.
Closing in on this level 15. Probably goes for that health talent.
What are our levels looking like? PA is also almost 15.
Radiant's top tower
Yeah, is it going to be the
under attack.
cleave or the armor corruption this game? I actually wonder. Because armor corruption, again, you do have an ET on your team, but at the same time, getting that physical damage onto the Terrorblade and enhanced damage on him might not be a bad idea either.
Radiant's top tower
Yeah,
is under
cleave not as good as it used to be since each unit that is hit
scanning.
is judged by its own armor now. With cleave, it used to just basically do pure damage.
Magnus, he gets found by the way. He hasn't died yet. This could be the first one. Rip comes out very early on top of the ear splitter though. Brett trying to secure away. He will get out. It does hit. March to the back line. Zell with the soul bind up on 2. Sand King and Elder Titan look like to be the targets. The RP does eventually go off. Yes, it actually does go up on both Ix Mike as well as Sammy Boy. They just melt away. Nusham, not much more he can do. And yeah, Phantom Assassin really didn't do much there. She just basically stayed in the way back, was like, I don't really want to go in, and then eventually ended up TPing out. I can't blame her, to be honest. The fight got pretty ugly.
Yeah, she's not even remotely close to being fighting ready, and he does go for the -3 armor corruption, has a Desolator queued up after the Manta style as well. Maybe he'll change his mind and go for that BKB, but again, we see this all the time. Carry players trying to delay that BKB as long as possible so that it doesn't get too low too early.
I do apologize. He did kill the Venomancer, so again, he wasn't AFK necessarily, but it seems he spent time doing that. It just looked like he went to positioning late, that he was just very hesitant to go in and clearly kill the Veno, and then by the time he came over, it was just too late. to make
Full
the play.
butterfly on Terrorblade, 19 minutes
Wow.
in.
So yeah, he does go for it, and I guess honestly at this rate, the offensive power he's going to get out of it right now too is, it by all means makes it worth it. It feels like so.
Yeah, we saw right there, the team fight in J-Storm is pretty formidable. I mean, they took that fight on their high ground near their shrine too, which is about as advantageous a positioning as we get. Roy is dead.
Probably yes. Ryoya does go down. Other tank going to be lost as well, and Sand King, no chance.
No buyback on PA. IX Mike also dead. No buyback. This is
Top tower is under attack.
possibly a high ground push.
My stream is dead, by the way. It's apparently been dead for 5 minutes.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Rip.
attack.
Yeah, I have no
Radiant's
clue.
middle
Like,
tower
it's
is
just, it's sitting red.
Radiant's
0 kilobits per second. That's so weird.
Radiant structures are fortified.
No, I mean, I'm not putting out any, yeah. 1 second.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Well, instead of Rex.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Seeing if it's the server that they have me on.
Radiant's top shrine is under attack.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. We just missed a pretty big fight.
Radiant's top shrine has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Delay. Alright. Alright, let's see if this works.
Is under attack.
See black screen?
Yeah, it's because it's the BTS setup. Like, I stream to their, they have like a service now where like you stream into their feed and then they output the feed to the actual BTS stream themselves. So, anyways, all right, I'm gonna try it here. Let's see if it works. See, now this is the problem. I have no clue if it's going to work for 5 minutes. So let's just act like it's working right now. And then we'll know in 5 minutes if it actually been going through. All right. Well, anyways, guys, hopefully we're back. I do apologize. I don't know what the issue was. We've been in the game this whole time, but apparently the stream decided to go kaput. Anyways, so the Dire team, just kind of a recap here of what I think you guys missed. J-Storm, they did end up pushing the middle lane. They caught Ryoya out in a pretty bad position. The Butterfly was finished on Terrorblade. They caught Ryoya out, they killed him, and then they pushed the middle racks on top of that. As a result, I'm not sure if Phantom Assassin bought back. It doesn't look like it, no, she just stayed dead. But they did get the melee racks in that middle lane, and that's kind of the big picture there as far as how this game is now gone pretty bit in favor of J-Storm after that push. This Terrorblade and the farm that he has obviously is looking ridiculous right now. He just finished an Eye of Scotty even to go with the Butterfly and the Manta style.
Yeah, he's unkillable. I don't see any way that Team can kill this Terrorblade, even without a BKB. And kind of just the story. Who would have thought? Terrorblade's still a good hero.
Mm-hmm.
What are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do exactly? Phantom Assassin, Desolator with the Yasha, and she's actually gonna try to go Manta style herself right now to help her out in these fights, but it just doesn't seem like that's gonna be the biggest game changer, honestly.
No, she needs a Manta and an Abyssal Blade before she's really gonna be able to threaten people. I do like the choice of the Manta style over the BKB just because the only thing he can really dispel is the Phantom's Embrace anyway. And if he does have the BKB, it's kind of just sinking a bunch of gold into an item that's just going to get RP'd anyway.
Well, she is continuing to farm, of course. Gets towards that items to see if can eventually pick them up and what kind of impact it will have. But Terrorblade trying to decide with the team what they want to do as far as Roshan's concerned. It's 5 more seconds before it could be back up. You actually have the couriers over there, so using that to scout things out. Ryoya, pretty deep in the Dire jungle. Probably one of the safer positions to be right now, to be fair, though. You have J-Storm is heavily invading the Radiant side currently, but they are smoked up as 4.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to hunt this PA. Not going to see him, though, as he blurs through the mid lane. Cuts the creep wave.
Which my matriarch will prize.
And heads to farm the off-lane jungle. But J-Storm pretty happy to just sit around and wait for this Rosh to come up. They are in a commanding spot in this game right now.
Mm-hmm. Looking at Visage, gonna haven't talked too much about him recently, but he does have a pipe. Thinking about upgrading to the Solar Crest, of course. No doubt important to have. Choosing not to get the Ags this game. Go for that third familiar instead. At least yet. I mean, could eventually still go it, of course, but all about more of that utility right now. And I think this is more around the idea too. It's that 4-1 strategy. You know, obviously they're babysitting the Phantom Assassin, letting her take care of the damage, the heavy crits and everything, but fortunately she's behind the Terrorblade.
Really doesn't feel like a hero right now. I've felt almost no impact. Very low tower push ability so far, just because they haven't really been able to get across the river for the last 10 to 15 minutes. And Visage can threaten with split push, but these birds, they can barely even kill these Terrorblade illusions.
Triple stifling dagger picked up though by Phantom Assassin. So there you go. Jeez, this big crit's coming out. Overkill much? Got Ghost Scepter picked up on Grimstroke. Great item to have against PA, of course. You know, that's an item. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say an item that we haven't seen, not Ghost Scepter necessarily, but Heaven's Halberd. You think it's fantastic against a hero like PA, but I feel like in the PA games that we've been watching, we really haven't seen teams pick it up. That's that counter tool.
Yeah, it's not the best build-up for a lot of heroes, but
they're engaging.
Gets
at the center. They get the initial kill on time, but what comes with Brev coming in as on top of the air splitter himself. Landed the RP though, it sets him up for a perfect poison Nova. Ryoya, he does cut down the Magnus. He's trying to run away now. Terrorblade, he's going toe to toe with Elder Titan. He's getting low on Brawl, isn't he? Sunder, no ear to use it actually. He actually goes down. The Elder Titan are no doubt doing plenty of work throughout the fight as well. With the Ear Splitter, he's going to go for the other Echo Stomp. It's avoided by Moo, but Moo's still dead. Double kill for Ryoya. And how about that? Team, they dominated that fight, by the way. Elder Titan might end up still dying. Yeah, he's going to die to the poison, but it was just a Batrider buyback. That's all that was necessary.
Yeah, and Trial immediately just buys a BKB. Not surprised after that fight, because he has a BKB there, they don't lose that.
You could definitely tell the impact of that aura. And again, natural order, it is maxed out now, so 100% base armor, as well as magic armor.
And remember, this Sandstorm does 100 damage per second, 150 damage per second with the talent now. Plus that aura, that is an insane amount of damage that was just being done to the entire fight. Because Brack was just in the Sandstorm the whole time. Yeah,
this fight, being clumped up like that, it's kind of tough because J-Storm does have advantages for fighting in close quarters somewhat around their tombstone and things like that. And the RP clumping them up and everything, but team, I go back to that natural order aura once again, and if they are clumped up, they're all being hit by it. You mentioned the Sandstorm, you're fighting inside that. So both sides really do have these strong abilities of fighting in a somewhat condensed area. But right there, it seemed like it favored team quite a bit. So J-Storm maybe going to second guess next time when they look to find an initiation and jump in, because this game just swung, man. I mean, I'm looking at the net worth. It was upwards of 11 to 12,000 according to the graph. Yeah, there's the update. It's now about 3,000 for J-Storm, so still having that lead, but it's quite a dip. And Terrorblade has his BKB now, though. We talked about that being a difference maker item.
This is getting into scary territory, though, for them, as PA has a MKB complete to deal with this Terrorblade Butterfly, and they handed over a gem to a Batrider, who is probably the best hero in the game with a gem.
Oh yeah, Firefly.
Yeah, they were able to burst March at the beginning of that fight as well, so there was no tombstone, no heals, no slow from the Undying, and
Terrorblade. Ooh, he's running into a death trap. He is being paid. Oh, the other Gecko Stomp doesn't hit though, and they will kill Ix Mike. That really was looking scary for a second for Brawl. Now he commits a BKB to kill a Batrider, so I still think that's a positive for team, but as well as meta for that matter.
Yeah, they do get the gem back though, and Ix Mike is dead for 62 seconds, which means that a lot of the duration of this Aegis is just going to be wasted because they really cannot push without him. So probably worth it in the long run.
Finds a double damage room. Gonna farm throughout the jungle with, so not the greatest objective ever to do that with, but at least making some use of it, taking it out of the hands of the PA. But by the way, PA. Yeah, now, again, her acceleration is definitely here, and Monkey King Bar's finish. You talked about the Abyssal Blade also being really good. She is going to go for that next. Part of me is a little surprised she didn't end up going to BKB, to be honest. It does feel like there's plenty to mitigate here, damage-wise even. And now with the Sunder, again, it cannot work against BKB targets. So I think there is a lot of value in a BKB still for the Phantom Assassin, but at this point, she's just not going to get it.
Yeah, the thing is, though, they really, I totally agree. BKB is valuable against the Sunder. Against the RP, loses quite a bit of that appeal. And just the fact that Sammy Boy is so underfarmed, EA really has to do 100% of the carrying.
Terrorblade. Stondeg initiate on top of him. He's going to be healed up. He still has that Sunder, and he drops the Earth Splitter as well. The RP in response. And Sand King will fall. Ryoya, he's trying to get the kill on Terrorblade, but he's just too damn tanky. That's an Aegis. It's like the same spot where they fought last time, and somehow it goes completely different. In fact, the exact opposite. A rampage for Prile.
That's game.
That might as well be. And you know what the biggest difference was? Is that BKB on Terrorblade.
BKB, and the fact that Team just decided to take a fight uphill with no vision into a fully set up J-Storm.
Yeah.
I have no idea why they took that fight.
Just when they were really starting to climb back in and giving themselves a chance. They get antsy, get excited, whatever it may have been, He overstepped, and that could very likely be Mega Creeps. Terrorblade's been pushing tier 4s during this, so a little bit, maybe they just thought the game was absolutely over, but he's going to come over here now and finish off the racks and get those Mega Creeps for the team. PA is still dead for 40 seconds, so obviously without the PA, that their damages. I think it's safe to say very lacking. Epicenter, that's really not going to do a whole lot. And back there just turning on him. The Soulbind back here, the double silence comes out with the Phantom's Embrace, a Shockwave on top, and you can just tell teams in that overtime phase, and let's just see what we can make happen with the chaos. And pad those stats, though, if you're J-Storm. Game 1 is no doubt going to be their favor. And there you go.
Turns out BKB is a good item.
Pretty good.
Ryle finishes 16-2 and 3. I think anyone concerned about TB being out of the meta, no concerns.
No, that's